En arche en halagos, kai halagos en prostanteon, kathaos en halagos, hutas en arche prostanteon, pantadi atu egenata, kai choris atu egenata, ude en hea geganen, en auto zoe en kai he zoe en taphos ton anthropo, kai taphos en te scatia fine, kai he scatia alta u cataleben. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Bible Tidbits YouTube channel. Glad you joined us today. And today I want to talk a little bit about biblical Greek. What I read for you there was the first 5 verses to the Gospel of John. I read that from my Greek New Testament right there. It was about 2 years ago I started my journey into learning biblical Greek. And I have never looked back, and I am just so glad I did, and I just love continuing to press on in that. And so I wanted to present a few questions to you, or answer a few questions for you that you may be having. And the first is, can you learn biblical Greek, and should you learn biblical Greek? And I think the answer to both of those is yes, just to start off with. I think you can and you should, no matter what your situation is that you're in. I think it's a great thing. Now, if you are specifically in the ministry, you definitely should prioritize it, I think, because it gets you to the heart of the message in the Bible. I mean, you don't go through a translation, you don't get the secondhand information, you go straight to the sources themselves. And I find the more I am in the languages, the less I'm in things such as commentaries and other resources, because the language is so rich whenever you start understanding the grammar of it. That's what the commentators are bringing their stuff from. So I just love getting to go into the original Greek and just dig into it so much. I think it was Martin Luther who said that knowing biblical Greek was the safeguard to the gospel. So I think yes, you can, and I think yes, you should. If you clicked on this video, that means you have probably some form of interest in it, and I think it's something that you can tackle. And you could tackle it at different levels as well. And I want to finish up this video talking about how you can begin to learn biblical Greek. And I have a few resources that I'm gonna point you towards, because that's one thing is I don't think there's enough stuff. I think you're gonna need some sort of book. You're gonna need to get a Greek New Testament. Now, there are some free ones that maybe you can look at online or print. But for many of you, this book right here might be the solution. Greek Word Studies for Everyone. This book is the new release from Benjamin Merkle and Robert Plummer. Robert Plummer is actually my professor. He's the one that has taught me biblical Greek. But this book, it starts off, chapter 1, you dig into what the alphabet is. You see, how to pronounce letters and how to put words together. And then it gives you a few vocab words at the end of each chapter to get you started. I know whenever I was looking through it earlier, like agape for love, aletheia for truth, a couple conjunctions in there for the first week of vocab. Very light, but it teaches you, first off, how to read it. So after chapter 1 of this book, you can get a Greek New Testament. You could read it all. Understanding is going to be basically nothing at that point, but you could read it all. And then it goes into how to conduct proper word studies. And that's a beneficial skill. And it's a thing that's good to go somewhere to know about, because word studies are something dangerous. I mean, there are translations that are basically done off of bad word studies. And you got to be careful with that, because you can take a word, but if you don't study it within its context, you can make that word mean a lot of things. So that's where I think this book is awesome, because many of you probably just want to do word studies. This will point you in the right direction, give you that basic Greek knowledge to help you be on your way in that. This book also has a website called GreekWordStudiesForEveryone.com, and you can go to that website, and it's got lectures and quizzes and stuff like that keyed up to this book. So you can actually, it's almost like taking a class for free with the purchase of this book. We're actually going there without the book, of course. And that's a very useful thing. So if that's something that interests you, maybe you just want to learn word studies, check out this book. I'll link it below. But maybe you're wanting more. Maybe you want to just open up the Greek New Testament and read it and know what it says. Like what I did there with John chapter 1, verse 1 through 5 a while ago. I read it and I understood that. I'm not going to say I read and understand every passage like that, but that was an easier one that I'm familiar with. Well, you're going to want to get this book to start off with, Beginning Greek, also by Benjamin Merkle and Robert Plummer. This book is a great introduction to Greek. Chapter 1 is very similar to this book. It also has free lectures online, beginninggreek.com. There's exercises in the book. There's more extensive vocabulary list. It teaches you all the grammar and all those things. And so this is a great place to launch off and start. I just think this book is awesome. It's what taught me Greek. It's got these charts scattered throughout the book. And so I tried to learn Greek on my own once, outside the seminary. And I picked up this book actually to start. And I will say the one thing that I missed, and I think I would have been more successful if I'd have got, is those charts. Memorize those charts. I mean, memorize them. Be able to place the things in those charts because they help you so much in the long run. But this book is awesome. It's got just all kinds of exercises. It's got answer keys in the back. It's got all the information. I mean, it tells it all to you. And then there's the lectures for free online, like I said. You can go to dailydoseofgreek.com and kind of get some videos and watch him work through one verse a day to just kind of make your knowledge more concrete in that. And so you could use that book, work through it, slowly, and you could really build a knowledge of Greek with those resources right there, which I think is awesome. Obviously, the best way to learn biblical Greek is going to be through a seminary or Bible college. So many seminaries and Bible colleges use this Beginning Greek textbook. Not all, some of them use one by Dan Wallace, and there's a few others out there in use, of course. But that would be the most ideal way. But if you could do that, if you could pick up this book, use the free online lectures, maybe your pastor or somebody else does know biblical Greek, then you can question them for whenever you can't quite find the answer you're looking for, and start to begin to build that knowledge. And it's just such an awesome thing to be able to open up the Bible as the apostles wrote it and be able to read that and understand it and just draw your meaning out of that. I said I began my journey 2 years ago. I'm actually finishing up right now my last Greek class, and my emphasis, my major, I guess you call it, in seminary is Greek and Hebrew exegesis. I've done no Hebrew yet. I'm planning on starting Hebrew in the fall, actually, and I'm going to bring my YouTube channel along for my journey of going from, I know nothing in Hebrew. I can't read a letter. I mean, I can't tell you what any letters are, and hopefully I can take you along a journey to proficiency. But go try learn a biblical language. It is so much fun. Pick up some books, dig into it. At the very worst case scenario, you don't learn it, but you spend a lot of time in the Bible, right? You spend a lot of time learning about this, and you'll come away with some knowledge. So I don't think it would ever be wasted time to attempt to learn it. And I think at the very best, you're going to grow your knowledge of the Bible so very much. I'm going to link down below all these books. I'm going to link a Greek New Testament. I'm going to link a different one though. This is just a standard one. I'm going to link a Reader's Edition. And what's cool about a Reader's Edition, I didn't know this when I started and I bought this one, which I have a Reader's Edition now, just not here. The Reader's Edition, for the rare vocabulary words, it puts it at the bottom and defines each word. And so by the time you go through this entire textbook here, you will know every word that is more common in the Greek New Testament, which means whenever you have your Reader's Edition, every word that you don't know should be at the bottom of the page defined, which is awesome. Then you're not flipping through a lexicon, which is basically a Greek dictionary. This book teaches you how to properly use a lexicon, which is awesome. And you could just start to truly immerse yourself and do it more and more. I've been taking time every morning to read and translate the Greek New Testament, and it's just been such a thing to build me up lately, and it's so meditative. I think that's the biggest thing for me, is how meditative the process is. For example, I was translating Matthew 1. I just started Matthew 1:1, and I was going through, and it used the Greek preposition ek, epsilon kappa, ek, as you might recognize it in English letters, and it translates to, in this passage, by. Usually it translates to from, but it's by, by. In the genealogies, that's how the ESV translates it, the LSB, and many others translate it as to by. And I was reading that word, and I spent probably 5-10 minutes looking into that word specifically. Just that short little phrase right there. So check it out. Resources linked down below. Dig into, maybe try to learn a biblical language. So I thank you all for joining me. If you're going to try this, comment down below. Pick me up on social medias, and I would love to hear from you. But thanks for joining me. I hope to see y'all next time.